All right, let's jump right into something pretty wild today. We're going to be looking at a really influential book from 1935 called Cartas de uma Morta, which translates to Letters from a Dead Woman. Now, this isn't your average book. It's a collection of messages that were supposedly psychographed, channeled and written down directly from the spirit world. And the medium who transcribed it? The incredibly famous Brazilian medium Chico Xavier. But get this, the spirit who was sending the messages was his own mother, Maria João de Deus, and she had passed away when he was just a little kid. And this quote, wow, it really sets the stage, doesn't it? This is from Chico Xavier himself, right in the preface of the book. He's laying it all out, just how personal this is. I mean, can you imagine? He was only 5 years old when he lost his mom. But he says their connection, their bond, just didn't end with death. So these letters, as he presents them, are basically her answering his lifelong questions, describing what it was really like in stunning detail right after she passed over. So, where do we even begin with a story like that? Well, the book kicks off with Maria's own account of what it felt like to cross that threshold. It's this incredibly raw, almost second-by-second description of her experience of dying and leaving our world. She talks about her final moments as this intense battle with her illness. She fought it with every ounce of strength she had. But what's so incredible and so powerful is why she was fighting. It wasn't about being afraid to die or just, clinging to life for the sake of it. She says the only thing that kept her going was her love for her children. She just couldn't bear the thought of leaving them behind. So she breaks down this whole transition into what she felt were 5 distinct steps. And it sounds pretty disorienting, to be honest. First, there's this excruciating physical pain, a sense of her body slowly giving up. Then, that fades into this hazy, dreamlike state. She can still hear and see her loved ones, but it's all foggy, like a nightmare. Suddenly, there's another jolt of pain, and bam, her entire life flashes before her eyes. Right after that, she wakes up. But she feels amazing, healthy, energetic, agile. And it's only in that moment, when the pain is gone and she feels so alive, that the big realization hits her. Ah, I died. Okay, so she's crossed over. Now what? Where exactly is she? This is where her account starts to paint a picture of an entirely new kind of reality. She says she's in a place called eroticity, which you can think of as a kind of in-between state. And it's really important to get this. It's not heaven and it's not hell. The best way to picture it is maybe like a spiritual way station or a reception center for souls who have just arrived. It's this transitional place where you go to heal, to learn, and to get ready for whatever is next. And this place has its own set of rules, It's not just some chaotic, empty space. There are organized societies. People reunite with their families, but it's based on this idea of spiritual affinity, not just your earthly bloodline. And the physics are totally different. There's no getting tired from work. Matter itself is way more subtle. It actually responds to your thoughts. And the whole point of being there, it's all about learning and growing. Oh, and here's a big one. You still have a body, but it's made of something much, much lighter. I mean, listen to this. She's completely stunned because she can feel her lungs breathing, her heart beating. Everything feels totally normal. So an invisible guide has to explain it to her. They say, look, your body, it's an envelope made of fifth essenced matter. Basically, it's a super subtle casing for your spirit, doing the same job your physical body did back on Earth. Okay, so from this new home base, this is where Maria's story just explodes into these mind-bending cosmic journeys. She starts describing these incredible explorations, trips she could never have even dreamed of back on Earth. One of the most amazing parts of the book, for me anyway, is her description of a trip she takes to Saturn. Yeah, the planet Saturn. She says she was always captivated by it as a kid, and in this new reality, all she had to do was focus on that desire, and with a guide, she was just there. And her description of what she sees is just unreal. The first thing that hits her is the light. She says the sun looks like a distant blue orb. The light isn't harsh or hot, it's cool and gentle, and it bathes the entire landscape in these soft tones of pale pink and this beautiful, otherworldly blue. And the plants, well, they're just as strange. There is vegetation, for sure, but there's one massive difference. Nothing is green. She describes a world completely without chlorophyll, where every leaf, every branch, is some shade of blue. And it gets even more surreal. Just try to picture this. The oceans and lakes aren't blue, they're pink. Rose-colored seas against a landscape that looks like white ice, all of it glowing under that distant blue sun. Just incredible. So, what about the inhabitants? Well, the beings on Saturn are described as being super evolved. They look pretty strange to her. They have these membrane-like wings and can fly. But their society is just incredible. They don't have incurable diseases. Their science and their faith are completely in sync. And get this, mediumship. Communicating with other spiritual planes isn't a rare gift. It's just a normal ability that everyone has. They even have these giant flying structures called aerial assemblies where they go to study. But it's not all incredible journeys to these beautiful, advanced worlds. The book takes a really sharp turn here, because Maria is also shown the complete opposite. These dark, heavy places filled with souls who are really, really suffering. And this quote, it just perfectly captures the anguish of these realms. She's taken to a place called the Circle of Sufferings, and it's a place where spirits are basically trapped, not by some external force, but by their own negativity from their lives on Earth, their own greed, their pride. This heartbreaking cry is from a soul who finally gets it, way too late, that all the status and all the awards they chased on Earth mean absolutely nothing now. So you have these amazing, beautiful realms and these dark, tormented ones. It's a huge spectrum. But the big question is, how does any of this connect back to us, right here, right now? Well, the book gets into that lingering connection. And it all boils down to one simple thing, our thoughts. In the spirit world, a thought isn't just something that happens inside your head. It's a real, tangible, creative force. A spirit's entire world, everything around them, whether they're happy or miserable, is a direct result of what's going on in their own mind. And here's a really cool visual for this. Maria learns that our thoughts, coming from Earth, are actually visible as these filaments of energy. If your thoughts are pure and loving, they look like these bright, shining white threads that reach up to the higher realms. But negative thoughts? They look like dark, tangled, messy threads that basically keep spirits trapped in those lower, confused states. She even describes learning how to follow one of those bright threads all the way back to a grieving mother on Earth, and she was able to send comfort down that connection. So after all these incredible journeys, these descriptions of other worlds, these deep lessons, what's the big takeaway? What's the point of it all? Well, the final part of the book really brings it all home with one central message. And this quote really says it all. One of Maria's spiritual mentors tells her that the one single law that governs everything is love. But not love just as an emotion. We're talking about love as the actual fabric of the universe. It's the light, it's the energy, it's the force that's pushing every single thing towards getting better, towards perfection. So, when you boil it all down, Letters from a Dead Woman is really a story of incredible hope. It completely throws out the idea of eternal punishment. Instead, it suggests that life is more like a continuous school. It's this never-ending journey of progress and learning, where every single soul, even the ones in the darkest places, always has a chance to learn, to grow, and to regenerate. And that brings us right back to ourselves, doesn't it? The book leaves us with a really powerful, really personal question to chew on. If our thoughts are really the engine that creates our reality, not just in the afterlife, but right here, right now, well, what kind of world are you creating with your thoughts today?